Hello everybody and welcome to the big reveal, which I am so excited about. Today I'm going to be showing you around my new son's room, both sons. I have two boys and a girl, and my sons are 5 and 9, about to be 10, and they are obviously quite a big difference in age, but we had 3 rooms before and my daughter felt like her room was quite small and she needed a bit more space. She's about to be a very early teenager. So what we decided to do was take the smallest room, which was my 5-year-old's room, and give her a little bit more space, extend into that room for her, and in the meantime create a really beautiful double bedroom for my boys. Now, lucky for me, my boys are very, very close and they like to spend a lot of time together, which is a good thing. But also I loved the idea of making a very cool, very luxurious, elegant, but also fun boys' room. And of course I know my boys well and I know what they love, and I wanted to incorporate everything that I could that I knew they'd want in there. I needed to start with the concept and the color theme. So I showed my boys a couple of different color schemes. They felt a little bit like the blue was quite stereotypical and they wanted something different, but of course they didn't want it feminine. So they decided that they wanted a green. Once we'd set our hearts upon a green, we knew we needed to set out the rest of the theme. One of my boys, the bigger boy in particular, actually really loves design. And he also really loves the wallpapers that we have quite a lot of throughout the house. And I think what he wanted was the very beautiful, almost chinoiserie wallpapers, but something that wasn't so feminine. And to be honest with you, none of the wallpaper suppliers offered that. So even the bespoke chinoiserie suppliers that we use didn't really offer something that was masculine, but felt more leafy and organic. So I decided that I'd approach one of the suppliers that we use quite a lot. That was Romo. This Romo paper has this stunning, wistful, willow, branching, leafy tree that just sort of hangs. And I've always loved a willow tree. I think it's so representative of England and of the countryside. So I showed this to my boys. They absolutely fell in love. I think we all agreed that that had to be somewhere in the room. The next thing we started working on was the headboard. Now, this had to be really, really special. We went for a stunning fabric. It is insanely soft and it's this really lovely moss green. Again, I'll link the name of everything that we used down below. But to give it, that extra sort of feel of masculinity, bearing in mind it is a twin room, he's sharing with his much younger brother, we wanted to make it feel still quite serious and masculine. So we added a much darker timber frame, and then we've also added from Risdon & Risdon. They've done these really glorious belts which we designed on to the headboard. They're absolutely fabulous, and the headboard is really just as smart as I'd hoped it to be, and the boys have fallen in love with it. So we've got this really funny angle in the boys' room, and sometimes of course at the top levels of some homes you will have some funny shapes because of the different roof shapes in England, and that's just the way it goes. But we wanted to really use that sort of odd shape as a feature and an asset. So what we've done is we've had a built-in wardrobe made for the boys. We've used these incredible Philip Watts handles, really, really oversized handles that were actually in the previous room. They have this really stunning hammered metal effect. They're in this really lovely colored brass. They really do give this extra grandness to the doors. We've then used a really lovely contrasting wallpaper to the Romo that we've got behind the headboard. It's a stunning textured Arte wallpaper. Now, Arte do have some really lovely textured wallpapers, and for any of you out there that are looking for a lovely texture rather than a particular print, Arte are great to go to, but also, of course, Romo are a great option. The next step for us was to get the blinds done. Now, unfortunately in this room, we've got, again, a very odd shaped ceiling, but then we've also got quite an odd shaped window. So what we've had to do with this window is really have a blind that sort of sticks to the window. We only had a limited number of color options to go with, but actually we were very lucky because they had a shade of green that really worked for the rest of the room. So that's what we've gone for here. And then, most excitingly, was the joinery. Now, Now, the joinery in this room was probably one of the most unique things I think we've ever designed in terms of joinery in children's rooms. We really wanted to think outside of the box. We wanted something really interesting, playful, but still smart. We wanted to add color, but not have it feel too childish. And we wanted to sort of inject elements of everything around the room into that joinery unit. Bearing in mind this is a really small room, we've already managed to fit in 2 beds here, and we've got a double-sized, slightly odd-shaped cupboard. We then decided that actually, if we were smart enough about the depth of the joinery unit, we could fit in some joinery. Now, for those of you who don't know, joinery is just another way of saying built-in fixed furniture. So that could be a wardrobe or a television unit or a seating area, but something that's pretty much fixed in. What I wanted was some shelving area to display. My son loves Lego, or the older son loves Lego. The younger son loves to break the older son's Lego. And the younger son is obsessed with dinosaurs. So what we wanted to do is create 2 different areas where we had shelving so that each son could display what they loved the most. You don't always want to hide that away. And of course you want to hide away quite a lot of what's there because it's just so messy. But it's quite nice to have elements of what they love, I think, dotted around the room. So to be able to really show the children that not only do we want to show off what they love, but that they can live with what they love and have it displayed really beautifully. But also we wanted somewhere where, you know, the younger son, for example, could have pictures of his favorite dinosaurs, and to make that feel quite smart. You know, they don't love ripped up posters, my boys. You know, they've been around interior design for a long time, so they appreciate good framing. So we framed some really standard dinosaur pictures that we thought my son would love. That's worked out really well. I think we got the frames on Etsy. Again, everything is linked below. Okay, so we've decided that in reality, the boys don't ever really do their homework in their bedrooms. They tend to work in the kitchen. Given they don't do their homework in there, I wanted to create a different kind of space. So not only did we want to have shelving and some storage area, we also wanted somewhere for them to sit, because they do sit in their rooms and look at their football cards or play, my younger son, with his dinosaurs. And so just somewhere for them to have a little place to sit down if their friends were to come, rather than to have to sit on the bed. Obviously, having a freestanding chair takes quite a lot of space. So what we did was we built in a seating area within the shelving unit, which I think creates just some air and some room and some space, but also gives them the opportunity to sit down. Right, now for my favorite part of the room. You will see we've got some incredibly smart but really playful fabrics. So starting with the cushions, it's called Cranbourne from Osborne & Little. It's really reasonably priced, super soft. We've got that on one side of the cushions, and then we've also got on the other side of this cushion this incredible Cassiano, it's called, also from Osborne & Little, and it's a cotton and linen mix. It's got this fantastic print, and I think that really worked beautifully. We then have these incredible fluffier trims from Samuel & Sons, which again, everything is going to be linked below, but we wanted to pull in the green from the headboard. So actually we've gone for, again, different colors on the cushions. So we've actually really used a whole mix of Osborne & Little. We've gone for some green fabrics on the cushions and some green Samuel & Son trims. And then for the bed runners, we've gone for this really lovely Nina Campbell fabric. It's called Umbria Montefalco. I hope I'm saying that correctly. It's made 7% of bamboo and 5% of polyamide and cotton and viscose. Really lovely fabric, super soft. Honestly, the boys love it. The fabric mix is really fabulous. I love a contrast cushion, but I love a contrast cushion with either a piping or one of these trims. There's a lot of texture within the fabrics. We've kind of kept it in this green and orange tone mix. My kids do like a red, but I managed to convince them that the orange worked better with the green. I think they were really happy with that mix, and I do think it's a very smart but still quite a fun look. Well, I hope you have enjoyed walking around this room with me. It really is probably my favorite room in the house until I've designed the next one, but it really is a special room for me. I mean, my boys are very close to my heart, and this room I think was quite bold for me in terms of color and in terms of direction. The joinery unit was definitely somewhere that I'd never really been in terms of development of a unit. It was so specific, and there is so much detail in this unit. I mean, I think even the joiner was shocked at how many different detailed elements there were, but honestly, it was worth every single element. The room is stunning, and the joinery unit in particular is just a work of art. I'm so glad we did it. It has taken a while, but we got there in the end, and I hope you've enjoyed this whole process with us.